special phonology video for our final exam. Today, we are going to talk about a very important and interesting topic, vowel in English phonology. Let's go to start. In phonology, a vowel is speech sound produced without any significant obstruction of airflow in the vocal tract. Unlike consonant, vowels are made with a free flow of air. You can see this video to end your understanding.
This is a cross-section of the human mouth, or indeed of the human vocal tract. So the vocal tract can be open, and when it is open and there are no obstructions of any kind, that is how vowels are made. That's a definition of a vowel. Consonants are some kind of obstruction to the vocal tract, and vowels have no obstruction.
And English vowels are classified based on three main articulatory features. The first is high, how high or low the tongue is, and backness, whether the tongue is at the front or back of the mouth. And the end is lip rounding, whether the lips are rounded or not. These three features create different vowel sounds. You can see this video to end your understanding about three main articulatory features.
The three main features of vowels are height, backness, and roundness. Height is the openness of the mouth, really of the jaw. How high the tongue and the jaw are, how close they are, or relatively, how open they are. And that's sort of a vertical kind of axis. That's called height, or openness, or closeness. The next feature falls on the horizontal axis, and it is called frontness or backness, normally backness. How far forward or how far back the articulation of the vowel sound occurs in the mouth. And the third feature is called roundness, and this refers to how round the mouth is. For example, in certain vowels like oo and o, the lips are rounded, but in other vowels like e, a, those vowels are unrounded. Linguists often call this the vowel space, and it's represented by this trapezoidal diagram. The back axis is for back vowels, and the front axis is for front vowels.
Vowel in English is very complex. It is different with Indonesian vowel. In English, we have 12 monophthong and 8 diphthong.
Actually have clear discussions because there are vowels that are similar between languages but not always the same. So in order to meaningfully learn the pronunciation of any language accurately, we really need to understand how this vowel chart works. The International Phonetic Alphabet is a myriad of symbols for both consonants and vowels, and today we're just going to talk about the most important vowel sounds that we need to know that go onto this chart. Let's start with the vowel E. This IPA symbol represents a high, front, unrounded vowel. And the order there is also important. That's normally how we describe them, that it's high and it's front and that it's unrounded. So that's the height, the backness, and the roundness. U goes here. U is a high, back, rounded vowel. So unlike E, it is rounded. U. Well, this raises the question, if E is a high front unrounded vowel, does there exist a high front rounded vowel? Yes. And that is the sound U. So U is exactly the same as E, that is, the height of the tongue and the jaw are the same, E. And then what we do, instead of allowing the lips to be essentially relaxed or more open from side to side, we round the lips as if it were like an oo sound. But it's just the lips. Everything inside the mouth stays the same. And if you've never made an U sound before, it isn't easy because, well, if any of these vowel sounds don't occur naturally to any of us, it's just not part of our native phonology. So we have to learn it and practice that muscle memory. So try with me now. We have the nice E sound, which has our jaw and our tongue are high, so it's a high vowel. It's front E, and then keep that tongue in that same position and just slowly round the lips. E, 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 E. This vowel occurs in languages like French and German, as well as ancient Greek. And in French, it's like la lune, the moon, as well as German süß, which is sweet. This vowel sound occurs in lots of ancient Greek words, for example, in the word su, which is you. By convention, rounded versions of vowels are placed to the right on this chart. So the unrounded version, I, on the left of the axis, and the rounded version, U, on the right of the front axis there. Well, wait a minute. Let's see the back axis. We have the U. U is a high, back, rounded vowel. Does there exist a high, back, unrounded vowel? Yes, there does. And instead of oo, we unround the lips and we get ooh, ooh. Not easy for me to make. This is sometimes how the u vowel of Japanese is described, like in kuki, which means air. Power you to be able to learn any and all of these vowels instantly. And the way we do that is by searching for IPA vowel chart, and we get this. The first link for me is this one here, and this is fantastic. Wikipedia is really wonderful and really useful for learning about phonology in a lot of detail. So this IPA vowel chart with audio is fantastic because we see a lot of the characters that we were studying today and a whole lot more that we haven't talked about yet. And what's really cool is you can actually click on these and hear the audio played for you. There are a few more vowels here that I didn't talk about yet. For example, we have the open mid back vowel. And what is that? Well, we have the rounded version, which is O, like Italian buono. And we also have the closed mid version, which is O, like sole, sole. And they also have an unrounded version. You see there's rounded and unrounded versions of almost everything on this chart. So if this is buono, A, and we unrounded A, then we get the sound in the word for however in English, which is but or cut, a. And so that's that sound. Now, what's interesting too is when I say words like aw, like saw, my aw isn't quite here, and it's frankly not quite here either. It's somewhere in between, and that's another aspect. And we'll look at this in a few minutes. We'll see how when we actually look at a language, the true mapping of the vowels isn't necessarily going to fit neatly into these corners. It's going to be maybe slightly displaced, and it'll be different for different regional accents and dialects. And interestingly too, like I mentioned, I don't have the kat merger. Now, what that means is that these two vowels, which may be idealized, they would be ah and aw. My ah vowel is a little bit more forward than that. It's approaching that central axis, ah. While the other vowel, like when I say kat, ah, or if I stabilize the main monophthongal part of it, which is ah, versus ah. So they're a little bit separated. They're not quite in the corner, either of them. So this is where when you have two vowels that are somewhat similar, right in the same part of the vowel space, they tend to find ways to push apart from each other. This explains a lot of phonetic changes that happen in languages, which end up becoming phonemic changes later on, like with the kat merger, for example. People who have the merger, well, their vowel is really not necessarily like my like when I say hot, or lot or something, because mine is approaching that central It's not quite the same. I know because I have to work to make sure I don't use my native vowel sound in, say, Italian or Spanish. While people who do have the merger, it will be a little bit further back, this merged vowel. I also wanted to note that the audio that you can hear is done by just one person who's outstanding at this, but it's important to keep in mind that it's just one representation of these vowels, and they can have slight variations. Think of them as more fuzzy regional areas than precise points.
This sound may seem small, but they make a big difference in meaning. In English, a small change in vowel sound can create a new word. It is called a minimal pause. You can see this video to understand what is minimal pause.
Minimal pairs uses phonetics, and we find two words that are similar except for one sound, and we see if those words have different meanings. So this sounds weird coming from an English perspective, but once we do a couple examples, I'll explain how this works with other languages and how it can be useful. So for instance, we have two words sip and zip. So these are two English words, sip and zip. They differ in this one sound S and Z, and they mean different things. So we know that S and Z are separate sounds in English. So we already knew that, but this just gives us evidence. And let's take a look at bit and beat. So this I and this E, we have the word bit, we have the word beat. They mean two different things, so they are minimal pairs, and they are separate in English as well. So when you're looking at a language that you've never seen before, and you see a transcription, like maybe you see this beat, and then you see beat, and they both mean the same thing in another language, this B and this P, this means that they don't make a distinction between these sounds. That's what it means. So we make a distinction between S and Z, we make a distinction between I and E, but another language might not. So that's what minimal pairs tell us.
These minimal differences can totally change the meaning. English also has diphthong, vowel sound that clip from one position to another within the same syllable. Common diphthong may, a, and day, a, day, and buy, and go, and then how. You can see this video to get the understanding.
Diphthong syllable. A diphthong syllable has two vowels next to each other that make a combined vowel sound. This is different from a vowel team syllable because in a diphthong syllable, both vowels are pronounced, making a combined vowel sound. This applies to the letters AU, AW, OO, EW, OI, OY, OU, and OW. Although the letter W is not usually a vowel, in some combinations it makes the same combined vowel sound. AU and AW make the same AW sound. For example, author, saw. OO and EW can make the same OO sound. For example, food, chew. OO can also make the short oo sound. For example, foot. OI and OY can make the same oi sound. For example, coin, boy. OU and OW make the same ow sound. For example, house, cow.
Diphthongs are like sound syllables. They start in one position and move smoothly to another, all in one syllable. So, to wrap it up, English vowels are rich and complex. They differ in tone, height, thickness, lip shape, and whether they move like diphthong or stay steady or monophthong. This small difference in sound can create major changes in meaning. See this video to get the understanding. I hope this video helped you understand vowel in English phonology. Keep practicing your listening and speaking skills. Thanks for watching and good luck on my final episode. Thanks for watching and good luck for my final episode. Thanks for watching and goodbye.